You ever catch yourself focusing on everything that's wrong? Like your brain is a spotlight that only finds problems, complaints, and disappointments. Maybe you're exhausted from your own negativity but have no idea how to stop. Maybe you're starting to realize that being realistic is just code for being bitter. Here's the truth that changed everything for one man. What you focus on grows. Not sometimes, always. Marcus Hayes spent 42 years proving this backwards, focusing on problems until problems were all he could see. Then a therapist gave him a jar and a ridiculous assignment that saved his marriage, his relationships, and his life. Marcus was a professional complainer. Everything was wrong. Traffic terrible, job soul-crushing, wife didn't understand him, kids ungrateful, weather bad, food bland. Life had dealt him a terrible hand, and he made sure everyone knew it. He wore his bitterness like a badge of honor. "I'm just being honest," he'd say. "I'm not negative, I'm realistic. The world is disappointing, and I'm not pretending otherwise." His wife Sarah saw it differently. After 20 years of marriage, she'd watched Marcus turn from optimistic to cynical, from grateful to bitter, from noticing good to only seeing bad. She'd tried everything. Positive reinforcement, calling him out, ignoring it. Nothing worked. Marcus's bitterness was a black hole swallowing every good thing in his life. Finally, Sarah gave him an ultimatum. "Go to therapy or I'm done. I can't watch you destroy yourself anymore, and I won't let you destroy our kids with this worldview." Marcus went, furious, certain the therapist would validate that his life actually was terrible. Dr. Chen listened to Marcus complain for 30 minutes straight without interrupting. When Marcus finally ran out of steam, Dr. Chen handed him an empty mason jar. "Fill this with gratitude." Marcus stared. "What?" "Every day for the next year, write down one thing you're grateful for. Put it in this jar. That's your only assignment." Dr. Chen slid a stack of small paper squares across the desk. 365 days, 365 gratitudes. Do this and we'll talk again in a year. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. My life is falling apart and you want me to write thank you notes to the universe? Marcus grabbed the jar anyway. Sarah was watching. He had to try something. Day 1. Marcus wrote nothing in capital letters and threw it in the jar. Day 2, he stared at the blank paper for 10 minutes before writing, "Still breathing, I guess." Day 7, he wrote, "Coffee was hot, just to have something." It felt forced, fake, pointless. Day 15, something shifted. Not big, tiny. He wrote, "Sarah made my favorite dinner, even though I've been terrible lately." Reading it back, he felt something crack in his chest. When was the last time he'd noticed what Sarah did for him instead of what she didn't? Day 30, he wrote, "Sun actually laughed at my joke today." Day 45, sunshine through kitchen window. Day 60, coworker brought me coffee without asking. Small things, insignificant things, but Marcus was starting to see them, and seeing them changed something fundamental about how his days felt. 3 months in, Sarah noticed. "You seem lighter," she said carefully. Marcus shrugged, but couldn't deny it. The jar was a quarter full. That meant he'd found 90 things to be grateful for in a life he'd sworn was completely terrible. How had he missed 90 good things? 6 months in, his coworker Janet pulled him aside. "I don't know what you're doing differently, but whatever it is, keep doing it. You used to walk into every meeting like someone died. Now you actually seem like you want to be here." Marcus went home that night and wrote, "Grateful Janet sees a difference because I'm starting to feel one." The strangest thing was how his circumstances hadn't changed. Same job, same house, same traffic, same weather. But Marcus had changed. His spotlight had shifted. Instead of scanning for problems, he trained himself to scan for gratitude. And the more he found, the more there was to find. Day 200, he wrote, "Grateful for this ridiculous assignment that's somehow working." Day 250. Grateful Sarah stuck around long enough for me to wake up. Day 300. Grateful I can still change at 42. Day 365 arrived. Marcus brought his full jar to Dr. Chen's office. I did it, all 365. I still think it's weird, but I can't argue with results. I feel different. I am different. Dr. Chen smiled. Read some. Marcus pulled notes at random. Day 89. Grateful son asked my advice about school. Day 134. Grateful for my health. Day 267. Grateful for 20 years with someone who still believes in me. Reading them back, the year played like a highlight reel. Not of achievements, of noticing, of gratitude for things he'd been ignoring for years. This is interesting, Marcus said slowly. Every single thing I wrote was always there. The coffee, the sunshine, Sarah, my kids, my health. Nothing appeared because I started being grateful. I just finally started seeing what was already here. Exactly, Dr. Chen said. Your circumstances barely changed. Your focus changed everything. She paused. Now I want to show you something. She pulled out another mason jar from her desk drawer, also full. This is Sarah's jar. Marcus froze. What? Sarah came to see me 6 months before you did. She was ready to leave. She asked me how to stop resenting you. I gave her the same assignment. Write down one thing you're grateful for about Marcus every single day, even on the days she wanted to walk away, especially on those days. Dr. Chen handed Marcus the jar. His hands shook. She never told me, because it wasn't about you. It was about her, about what she chose to focus on. But I think she'd want you to read some now. Marcus opened Sarah's jar, pulled a note. Day 42. Grateful, Marcus still kisses me goodnight even when he's angry. Another. Day 156. Grateful, he fixed the sink without being asked. Another. Day 289. Grateful, he's trying. I can see him trying, even though he doesn't think I notice. Marcus read note after note, tears streaming. She saw him. She saw him when he couldn't see himself. On his worst days, she found something to be grateful for. She chose to focus on who he was beneath the bitterness, and her focus sustained her until his focus finally shifted. She kept a gratitude jar for me while I kept one for life, Marcus whispered. Her gratitude saved our marriage while mine saved me. 2 years later, Marcus and Sarah keep jars on their kitchen counter. 2 jars. They write gratitudes every night before bed, sometimes about each other, sometimes about their day, sometimes tiny things that used to be invisible. Their kids have started jars. It's become family culture. Focus on what's good. What you look for, you find. What you focus on grows. Marcus tells this story now to anyone who listens. I spent 40 years training my brain to find problems. It got really good at it. Then I spent 1 year training it to find gratitude. Turns out, your brain will find whatever you tell it to look for. The question isn't whether good things exist in your life. The question is, are you looking for them? The jar didn't change his life. Gratitude did. And gratitude started with a choice. Every single day for 365 days. To look, to notice, to write it down, to fill the jar, to focus on what's right instead of what's wrong. That's it. That's the whole secret. What you focus on grows.